This is your Anxiety Toolkit, episode number 185. Welcome to Your Anxiety Toolkit. I'm your host, Kimberly Quinlan. This podcast is fueled by three main goals. The first goal is to provide you with some extra tools to help you manage your anxiety. Second goal, to inspire you. Anxiety doesn't get to decide how you live your life. And number three, and I leave the best for last, is to provide you with one big, fat virtual hug. Because experiencing anxiety ain't easy. If that sounds good to you, let's go. Welcome, friends. How are you? I am sitting at my kitchen table, which I never, ever get to do. I haven't for months because of COVID. I feel like this is the first open space I've had literally since COVID. So let me share with you why I'm telling you this. Up until COVID, I always used to record the episodes either late at night when the kids went to bed or preferably just before I went to pick them up. So I would finish work, I would have about an hour, I would sit in my living room or my kitchen and I would just speak into the microphone and I would talk with you. But then COVID happened and the kids are always home. They're always here. They're always in the house. They're always loud and running and playing and laughing. And it's wonderful. I am not complaining. But after a year, I have taken a week off to rest and restore. It was much, much needed. And my husband right now is actually taking the kids and gave me the morning to myself. And this is the first time I have been alone in a year. It is weird. I'm not going to lie. It's weird. It's sort of uncomfortable. And I sat down at my computer and was like, okay, it's time to record a podcast. What would I like to talk about? Because usually I like to go off of just what comes up for me and I'm spontaneous that way. And I literally stared at my screen and was like, what am I going to talk about? So I did what any normal podcaster would do, which is I went to Instagram and I put up a poll and I said, what would you guys like me to talk about? Because I got nothing. And it was so interesting and so synchronous because somebody wrote this. They said, Kimberly, can you please talk about how to relax and be self-compassionate when you suddenly have a quote unquote extra hour? And I was like, yes, that is the topic we will talk about today. So this episode is, again, a tool to put in your tool belt, and it is the skill of sitting still. And I'm going to ask you right up front the question of the podcast, which is, when was the last time you sat still? When was the last time you stopped and you allowed the discomfort that you're feeling to settle in, to be there? Now, a lot of you may be saying, no, Kimberly, I've done nothing but sit still since COVID. I'm in the complete opposite situation to you. I live at home. I'm alone. Maybe you don't have children or a pet, and maybe you're working from home. I know some of you have said you've lost your jobs. I'm sending such love to you. But even if that is the case, it's still a question. When's the last time you sat still and created a safe place for your emotions to rise and fall? When is the last time you sat still and experienced what you're experiencing without judgment? And that's the key point. You may have been sitting still, but were you judging yourself or your experience? Like I said to you, I'm not going to lie. I desperately needed this week off. And for the first day, I was kind of hopping around like, okay, let's get the dishes done and let's get the house clean and then we can relax. And I was like, hang on a minute, that's not right. Stop and be still. This is where the restoration happens. Now, again, even if you've had lots of stillness in the last year, I'm going to ask you, The restoration is having the emotion or sensation willingly without judgment. That is mindfulness. So even though you're having discomfort, are you resisting it? Are you pushing it away? Are you judging it as bad or terrible? Or are you telling yourself a story about what you're feeling or thinking right now, such as, this is never going to go away. I'm a loser. This should be better. It shouldn't be this way. I should be like this. I shouldn't be like this. It should be easier compared to those other people. What do they want me to be? Who do they want me to be? How do they want me to act? Instead of just being. I had an epiphany a couple of weeks ago, and it's funny because I thought it was an epiphany, and then I told my best friend and she was like, duh, that's not an epiphany. We know this to be true already. But for me, it felt like an epiphany, which is when I'm stressed and when I'm struggling, I tend to busy my body. I work more. I work harder. I work faster. I create things to do. And that is a direct response of my attempt not to feel what I'm feeling, whatever discomfort I'm feeling, right? And that's a dangerous thing to do. It's also a very effective thing to do. But here is where I'm going to pose an ongoing question. I know I talk with you guys about this a lot, which is, ask yourself, is what I'm doing effective in the long term, right? So yeah, busying your body, resisting your discomfort, pushing it away, trying to avoid it, trying to distract against it. It's really effective for the short term, but is it effective for the long term? Do you need to simmer down a little, right? And so here I'm going to invite you to slow down and to gently and compassionately open space for just this moment. Sometimes I think when people ask questions like the question they asked, they're expecting to feel some kind of intense self-love or this overwhelming calm or peace. And that's not what I'm looking for here. That's probably not going to work. It may. And if it does, I celebrate that for you. But what I would hope is that your self-compassion isn't done to remove your discomfort. It's done to soothe and to be with that discomfort, not to make it go away, because you might be suffering for a reason. You might be suffering because it's a really hard day for you, or you're having some uncomfortable, difficult emotions, or maybe you've had a breakup or a stressor in your life, or somebody's sick. I mean, these things happen. Maybe you're having intense anxiety, right? So maybe trying to make it go away isn't the best bet. Maybe just tenderly holding space and respecting and honoring and allowing that. And let me go on a tangent here for a second, is I just want to be clear, and I did an episode on this a couple of weeks ago about the difference a bit between a thought and a compulsion. And so when I say tend to it, doesn't mean I say give it attention and mull over it and ruminate on it and give it, all of this heavy special emphasis. No, I'm saying just say hi, name it to tame it. Say, hi, thought. I'm having a thought. I'm going to allow this thought to be there while I do the dishes. I'm going to be sad while I wash my hair. I'm going to allow guilt, and I'm not going to give it any of my attention. I'm not going to get into the content. I'm just going to allow guilt while I pour some syrup on my pancakes and eat my pancakes and take a walk and record this podcast. Slow down for this, guys. Settle in. Schedule time to be still. Then, when you have stillness, it will be less jarring. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? What does this emotion need? And usually it's just loving presence. Let's take a minute. Get still, get steady, slow down. You may want to put your hand on your heart, on your forehead, on the top of your head, on your tummy, wherever it is that needs a compassionate touch. And you might want to just sit and be and allow and greet. Hello, discomfort. Hello, silence. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of the wide variety of experiences I have. Thank you for being here. You deserve to be here. You can exist here safely now. Silence. Stillness. Discomfort. Yes. Yes to all of that. Take one more deep breath. Honor whatever it is that you're feeling. It's okay if the feeling gets stronger. It's okay if the thought gets stronger. Remember, we're here to nurture, not to remove. I hope that's helpful. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope that this spoke to you. I hope that it created a moment of safety for you. We're hurting as a planet. Everybody's hurting. Be kind, be gentle, slow down and take a look at what's important. I love you all so much. Once again, if you have not left a review, please do so. I would love nothing more than to hear your honest review. You can leave your review on Apple iTunes or anywhere where you listen. Have a wonderful day, guys. I'll see you next week. Please note that this podcast or any other resources from cbtschool.com should not replace professional mental health care. If you feel you would benefit, please reach out to a provider in your area. Have a wonderful day and thank you for supporting cbtschool.com.